Good evening, YouTube. I'm back. You never thought it'd happen again, but it is. Today it is Tuesday, the 27th of June. I'm going to tell you all about today. I have had quite a physical day today, and I'm quite physically tired, but I feel I've got a glow about me of satisfaction of a job well done. And I'm on my way home now. I'm going to have a bath when I get home. And all is well in the world. So let me tell you about today. So I woke up in my own bed, which is always very nice this morning. I'm not a very early riser. I have to make myself get up, and so I had my load on board from my 3 pickups yesterday, just to deliver today at High Wycombe, and there was no real urgency in getting there. So I just woke up when I woke up, got myself ready, and left the house at around about 5 to 9, and tooted off down to High Wycombe and unloaded my pickups from the day before at about at 10 past 12, and I met my contact when I was in the office, and I explained to them that my plan was to go and do the London pickups. What had happened is that I was given last week some 3 possible pickups. One was a London one, and 2 were more in the Midlands, Derby and somewhere else, can't remember. I'll tell you about that tomorrow. And I said I'd do the London one, and when I said I'd do that, they asked me if I would pick up another London one at the same time. So I said I had quoted £80 for the London single London pickup, and I said, well, if you make it 100, and then when I finished, depending on how it goes, I might ring you to ask for some more money if it's longer than I think, or if it's harder than I think. And the reason why I said that is twofold. One, I trust the shipper, and the shipper trusts me. So I absolutely trust that if I ask for an amount of money that I think is fair, they will just pay it. That's a great relationship to have. And 2, I find it really hard to price for London jobs, because you've got to really take into account the time. And I wasn't quite sure how long it would take me to get from one pickup to the other pickup. They were very close, but it was London. So I estimated 20 quid extra, but the caveat was I might have misjudged that, and we could amend it later. So I made my way at 12:15 into central London. The journey from the depot was 33 miles, and my sat-nav was saying it was going to take me about an hour and 10 minutes. So I went to the first pickup. I got there at just gone 1:30, and picked up my first load at the first location in N1. The second location was about 20 minutes away. It was also the N1 postcode. And I made my way there, parked up briefly on a double yellows with single yellow lines on the curb, which I don't think you're meant to stop at, just to ask them where I could park. And when I did get to the reception, I could see that there was a side road I could go down. So while they were sorting themselves out, I went and parked my van around the back of the building. Now, this one I knew was going to be a tough one. It had a lot of heavy handballing, and I was on my own. Sometimes when I get to these pickups, I get help, and most of the time I don't. And I didn't get help today, so I just put my head down, put my headphones in, listened to music, and just got on with it. And I started my stopwatch to see how long it would take me, and just carried on doing it, and doing it, and doing it. And I got a bit tired about an hour and a quarter in, but carried on. And eventually, when I stopped the stopwatch, I'd been handballing for an hour and 3/4 non-stop. And I was quite tired by the end of it. So, at that time, by the time I'd finished, it was 5:20. Then I had to get myself out of central London, back to the depot, which, as we know, is about 33 miles. And that took me about an hour and 3/4. And then at the other end, I was really hoping there'd be some help to unload. And I did stand sort of hopefully at a door, but they were really busy doing other work, and they obviously weren't going to help me. So I thought I'm just going to get on with this, never hanging around. So I got it all unloaded myself, and then got pod signed and got offside. And so from the time that I left the depot to the time I finished my second job of the day, it was 6.5 hours. So I was really struggling as to what to say. I did feel I earned more money than the 100, and I was thinking, how can I work this out? So I went through my mind, well, if I did it on time alone, 6.5 hours, if I'm basing my time at £25 an hour, then that's going to be 170 odd pounds. I thought that's too much for this job. I think it'd be not, I wouldn't feel comfortable asking for that. So then I thought, well, I've got to take off the congestion charge. So I've got to take off, what can I charge extra? What can I ask for extra that is going to feel like the minimum amount I'm going to feel happy with? So I plumped for a figure of £25 extra to make my total price of 125. And I just to myself thinking, it's a ship that's good to me. I think it's on the cheaper side, and it's basically half a day's pay. And I'd rather get more than that for half a day. So I felt it was a bit cheap, but I felt that it was the amount that I was willing to ask for. So I texted the message, can I have this much extra, make it 125, and straight away, yeah, that's fine, we'll put on the CX for you. So I'm using it as a learning example about trying to price stuff in London. I think I might need to think about estimating the time, and then basically on a time when I'm in London, if it's a short distance. But I don't know. It's all part of the rich tapestry of this job. You do all these things, you learn doing the job. It's one more bit of experience that I've got, and I will keep hold of that for future reference. So I then decided I would just head off home. I have looked at the CX for jobs going back, but it's gone. It's nearly 7 o'clock. I started looking, and there's nothing much. And it left me really on my way for it to be useful. I don't have a job for tomorrow yet, but I have got a job agreed for Thursday with this shipper. So I've got some more work guaranteed this week. So tomorrow will be a CX day, and we'll see how we get on doing a full day of CX. My stats for today then are as follows, and these were 2 jobs, neither of which were really CX jobs. My day when I get home will have lasted 14.5 hours. No, sorry, I've read the wrong thing. 12.5 hours. And my mileage today will be 285 miles, 285. Oh, excuse me. I'm tired. I did fill up with fuel today, so I've got a new average fuel price. And my fuel card, I've got 2 fuel cards. One's a UK Fuels one, which is the one I'm using at the moment, and the other one is what's it called? It's called Key Fuels, which was what I had for years and years. Well, I had that one for about a year before I had the other one. And the Key Fuels has been really uncompetitive recently, but gradually my UK fuel card has gone up. It's gone up from, the lowest was 107.41 per litre before that, and this week it's 113.52 per litre before that. So it's creeping up slowly, but the thing is that now Key Fuels is pretty much the same. So I have out of habit used. I did fill up with the UK fuel cards today, but I'm going to have to look at that again for future use. Also, interestingly, as a slight aside, with VAT, my UK fuel card is £136 pence per litre. When I went to Birkenhead yesterday, I noticed one of the stations 136 per litre, just on the pump price. And it made me think there must be areas of the country where diesel's particularly cheap all the time. Where I live, it's about 146 at the moment, so a good 10p more expensive than Birkenhead. So yeah, I found it interesting. I thought I felt maybe I should have filled up yesterday if I'd known. To be fair, it's equal, so it doesn't matter. But I will keep an eye out. If I'm in an area and the pump price is cheaper than what I'm used to and cheaper than my fuel cards, I'll fill up in that area. It's a simple little tip that I'm sharing with people who are brand new, as well as get a fuel card. I think Dave is maybe watching this, Dave from Amphil Logistics, and I don't know if you have a fuel card yet. In your first few months, you definitely didn't want a fuel card, and I have watched all your videos, but I've forgotten if you ever did get one. So I'm interested to know if you've got a fuel card yet. I'd recommend everyone gets one. It's well worth it. Get 2 or 3, just as an option. If yeah, just as an option. Anyway, I won't go on about that. So that wasn't the point of this. The point is that I now have a average price per mile driven for fuel this week. And that has gone up. Oh, it's gone up to £14.57 per mile. So that means that I've spent today £41.51 on fuel. And my earnings, my gross earnings, are quite good because I've got the job from this morning that I finished off from yesterday, and then my one job I did in London. So that was £310 for yesterday and £125 for today. So that gives me £435 earnings for today. But bearing in mind I did most of the work yesterday for the big job. And so after fuel, I earned £393. But I must remember that I've spent £15 on congestion charge. So actually that takes that down to £378 after fuel and tolls. So I am, over the 2 days, about £450 odd for 2 days. So I'm about £50 down on my target after fuel. So not too bad. But you know, and to be fair, I have been home both nights, tonight and yesterday night, and I didn't. So I feel maybe if I hadn't done that, I could have earned another 50 quid quite easily by tramping out or saving on fuel. Right, that's the end of my stats bit, and so I do want to talk a little bit about something else. It's going to be more of a question today than things I've learned. But before I do that, I must thank you, numbers 9 and 10. I've now now got 10 subscribers. So my original Magnificent 7 stands. You're always going to be my Magnificent 7. And number 8 was my star. I'm going to upgrade number 8, and 8, 9 and 10, you are my superstars. So thank you for subscribing. Really appreciate it. Moving on to what I want to talk about before I let you go. And I'll give you a bit of background to this, and then I'll finish with a question. I have in my life had 2 great battles or anxieties. I think of them as my anxieties. And they have never gone away, and I suspect they never will go away. And the first of them is about money. And I think my work ethic is about trying to earn as much money as I can. And I do worry about money. I do worry about earning enough and what I spend it on, and etc, etc. And that's never going to change now, I think. But at least with this job, I said right at the start, if I work harder, I get paid more money. So I kind of feel that I'm in control of that now. My other big anxiety and battle is my weight. And I have spent all my life battling my weight. I won't go into the details of it right now, but I did when I turned 50, which is a couple of years ago now. Yeah, it was 2 years ago this month. I managed, something clicked in my head, and I managed to lose a significant amount of weight. And it really transformed how I look at myself and my life, and a lot of good came from that. And because of my autistic traits, I do like numbers, so I feel comfort with numbers. So I measure everything. I've got my weight measurements from the time I was 18 throughout my life. And I can see for most of my life it was going in the wrong direction. Now, when I did this job, which was in March, I had put on some weight from my lowest. I probably put on a couple of stone. And then since March, I've put on probably another couple of stone. So I'm pretty much 4 stone heavier, 4.5 stone heavier than I want to be. And probably 4 stone heavier than I was. And I am aware, because other people have said this, that being a same-day courier makes it difficult to get the right exercise and to eat the right food. And I have my battles with that on a daily basis. I'm going to share with you now what I eat when I'm on the road at the moment. And it's kind of an interim point. It's sustaining my weight at a level at the moment. It's not reducing my weight, but I've managed to at least stop the increase, which is what I was really worried about, it going right back up to where I was originally. Just to give you context, I have been 5 stone heavier than I am now. So the swing from my heaviest to my lightest within those sort of couple of years was around about 9 stone. So obviously it had a big difference on my life. And I don't want it to go up anymore. I want it to go back down, and I want to be in control of it, and I want to win that battle, let's put it that way. And I know what works for me, and I'm in the right mindset now, where I can start to implement the things that work for me, so I can get back down to that sort of weight loss. subscribers to my channel find it of use if I shared with you my ups and downs with my weight target loss. I think it would help me to be more accountable if I know I've got an audience who are looking at my progress. And I think it is relevant to same day courier work because lots of people do this job and find it hard to maintain a diet or maintain their health. And some people want that to change. So I think it's something that I'm happy to suggest that I do. And if I'm going to do it, I'll do it with numbers. I want to be clear at this point what I'm not doing though. I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. I'm not going to be trying to give you advice about weight loss or what to eat because I don't know what's right for you. I only know what's right for me. So please don't take, if I do this, it as me giving you dietary advice. I would never do that. I'm happy to share my journey, and if it's of use or of interest, I will document it. But it's not really meant to be something to help you, and I don't know who you are. If you take anything from it, great. That's not really something I can guarantee is going to happen. So, I'll be clear then. The question is, would you like me to document my weight battle journey, let's call it that, my WBJ, on this channel as well as my driving stats? Okay, and then I did say I'll tell you what I have. So this is my diet in a typical day. For breakfast, I have 6 spoonfuls of porridge oats and some honey with hot water, and I've started putting in some frozen berries, like a handful of frozen berries. I put the frozen berries in the night before, so by the morning they've defrosted. Then I try then not to have anything else to eat until I feel hungry. And usually, so if I say my breakfast is about 8 o'clock, say, roughly, I'm probably going to get hungry about 10:30, 11 o'clock. And what I now do is I tend to have a sandwich at that point. And today, in my sandwiches, I had, so when I refer to a round of sandwiches, I'm going to refer to them as being 2 slices of bread as being a round. So 2 slices of bread, and the bread is half and half, wholemeal and white bread. It's I think it's Hovis. And then I had one sandwich, one round that was cheese, sort of mature cheese, and 2 slices of ham. And the bread is buttered as well with sort of margarine, soft margarine. And I have one of those cut in half, those rounds cut in half, and then I have another sandwich filling. And today I had the same bread, butter, marged on, with a layer of bacon and a layer of lettuce, a layer of cucumber, and a layer of chicken breast. Just bought from like pre-made chicken cooked, just cut it up. And I then cut that sandwich in half, so I've now got 2 rounds, the bacon and chicken and the ham and cheese, and I cut them in half so they're in rectangles, put 1 rectangle from each of the rounds in a foil container, and then have 2 foil wrappers around those sandwiches. So I have 2 rounds of sandwiches with me for a day. So at the 10:30, 11 o'clock time, I will have 1 foil wrap sandwich, which equates to a round of sandwiches, 2 slices of bread equivalent, but they're different fillings. And I didn't today because I didn't have it, but I also then have a packet of 3 rice cakes with a kind of chocolate or yoghurt topping. I get that from Aldi. And I have a packet of Quavers or pop chips, similar kind of low fattish, low calorie crisps. And then I try and leave that as being it for as long as I can. I then would go for as long as I can without eating. I have water with me in bottles. I have as much water as I can drink, and I have the water chilled in the fridge. I love chilled water, and one of my bottles in this weather is frozen, so it defrosts during the day so that it's still cold during a hot day. And then when I get hungry again, which is going to be around about, depending on how busy I am, 2 to 3 o'clock, I'll then dip in and have the second foil wrap sandwiches, and I try then to have an apple if I can. I have an apple with me if I can. I used to cut them up, but now I just stick it in as a whole apple, just eat it. And I have been in the habit of also having another set of 3 rice cakes from Aldi and another bag of Quavers. So it's almost like 2 lunches, sort of mid-morning and mid-afternoon lunches. And then I try to last as long as I can, and I've got with me in the van a plug-in little heater for food, Travelissimo it's called, and to give him a plug, I got this directly from the recommendation that Toby gave on his channel at Firkin Fred. So I just ordered the same thing from Amazon that he uses for his lunches. And then in there today I've got a homemade chicken and pasta bake type thing, and then that heats up, takes about half an hour to 40 minutes to heat up, which is heating up now as I'm driving back. And I try and have that for my tea when I'm tramping, but also as I'm going home, it just saves cooking. When I get home, I'll have it as I'm going home. I'll stop and have it before I get back. And the pasta is batch cooked and then put into pots and frozen. And then I put the frozen pots in a cool bag with some blue frozen blocks to keep it chilled all day. And so that is a typical day. Today is not typical because I didn't have any rice cakes or Quavers. I was going to get them at some point today when I had a break, but I didn't really stop. And so today I've just had my porridge, 2 round of sandwiches, an apple, and I'm going to have my pasta dish in a minute. And to be fair, I don't feel that hungry. I've been really busy. So today's been a good day, both in terms of money, both in terms of my eating and my activity levels with the amount of handballing I was doing. I've got a Fitbit recently to measure my number of steps as part of my sort of new way of trying to get better. At the moment, it's 8,500, and usually at the end of the day it's 3,500 when I do this job. So I did a good 5,000 by my handballing for an hour and 3/4. I don't think they're accurate steps, by the way. I don't think I've literally done 8,500 steps because I'm not sure how accurate it is. But I'm just I do the same job every day, so I just want to do more than I did the week before. That's how I'm measuring it. The actual number isn't that important, it's just whether I do more than the week before. Anyway, I've probably gone a bit longer than I thought I was going to. Thank you if you're still listening to me. I would appreciate some sort of answer to my question. I hope you're all well, I hope you're earning money. Tomorrow's the CX day, let's see how that goes. And thank you very much for listening. What have you learnt today?